Hey, so I'm gonna attempt to show you how I installed this Icom IC 2730A in my Chevy Cruze 2012 car. And for anybody who's had a Chevy Cruze, you know that's pretty tight corners inside there. It's a Icom, as I said, 2730A, IC 2730A, and it is analog only. It's a good analog radio. It's a good beginner radio. Um, it has VHF, UHF. It does 144 to 148 transmits, of course, and 430 to 450 on UHF transmit. And but it has a wider receiver. On VHF, it goes from 118 to 174, I believe it is. So that includes the aircraft for listening. And on on UHF, it does 375 to 550. So there's lots of can listen to a lot of frequencies. It does 50 watts on high, 15 watts on medium or mid power, and 5 watts on low power. And it draws around, I think it's about 8.5 amps on high power. It does quite well. It has good audio and all. And I decided to get it because I was interested in analog, not digital at this point. Maybe some other later on, but it's a good analog radio, I think. So we're gonna try to. I'm gonna try to show you guys all how it went to put it in there. So what's included with the radio is the main unit, the head unit, DC power cable, the control cable, which is about 11 feet long, the HM207 microphone, a spare fuse, and the microphone hanger. It does not come with any mounting brackets. I just made my own for the main unit. Bent a piece of steel, and I was able to find some screws at the hardware store. They're metric screws, M4-.7 by about 10 millimeters. M4-.7 by about 10 millimeters or 0.6. It was around there. I wasn't sure exactly what it needs to be, but so that seemed to work pretty good. And then for the head unit, I just also made a piece of steel for it. Doesn't look real fancy, but the accessories from Icom I find really pricey, so I decided to make my own, and I was able to find some magnets off Wish, some screws that I could just stick on there with the. It's easy for the magnet, just stick the head unit on there. You can take it off when you leave the car, so it doesn't get stolen or whatever. So that worked not too bad for me. For the microphone, you can plug it into the head unit. If you like it that way, it's fine. I decided I'd like to have it not plugged into the head unit, so I went and got a regular Ethernet cable, RJ45, whatever you call them, and just a short one, and brought it to the side, and then put a connector in there that allowed me to, I'm not sure what the connector is called, but it's like a double, I guess it'd be double female, so that allowed me to plug the microphone into there. And so I'm using the Ethernet cable as a extension cable for the microphone, and that seems to be working quite well. I have not had any interference that I know of, so that seems to work quite well. I chose to mount the main unit underneath the driver's seat. A lot of people put it under the passenger seat, but I chose the driver's seat because I sometimes have a passenger, and then if they move the seat forward and back, I was afraid that the wires will get pinched or kinked if, there's different passengers, different sizes. They'll move the seat, and my seat generally stays the same. so that it won't be moving back and forth as much. And it's very limited with space, but it just so fit in there. It was a tight fit, but it worked. And with these cars, they're very limited with space. I wasn't sure at first where to put the head unit, the control head, but I finally decided to put it there in the center. It actually fit in there quite well with that piece of metal I made, and it works pretty good. You can see well. Magnets hold it in place well, so it seems to work pretty good for what I use it with. So for routing the cable, the antenna cable, I had the antenna on the trunk there, and took it in through the trunk and then down the side, pried that away a little bit, and put it down the side there, and down to that bottom piece. Took that piece off, and then up to the front, and then to the front there's also a piece like that. Yeah, right there. There's took that piece off and put it in through there, under there, and to the radio there, which is under the seat there. And then yeah, it's under there. You can see a little bit. And then the microphone connector is there, where I connect to the microphone. And then the microphone I just have tucked up on the side, kind of, or hanging on the side there. Works pretty good. It's a decent microphone, I would say. And for the control unit cable, it goes underneath there as well, up the side and behind that panel. I brought it up through there, and then it's up there. You can see it up there to the head unit. Connects right there. It seems to work fine. And then for external speaker, it plugs in down there and also routes through that panel. You can see the cable there. Goes up to the speaker I have just on the left side of the steering wheel. Nice speaker there. And for power, I went directly to the battery. Of course, I had to punch through the firewall, which is not always so fun, but I managed to get through there, and then came through the side by the floorboard, left side there, same place where the external speaker wire goes through, and brought it up that way. So I hope you found that interesting. I just thought I'd share it on here. If somebody's looking for ideas how to install into a Chevy Cruze, this might be an idea. I know it's challenging to know where to do it and how to do it. I was glad for videos that I watched. I just thought I'd share. And if somebody can get value out of it, then that's great. Thanks for watching.